Welcome back, everybody. This is Rusty here. Today we're going to be checking out Dyson Sphere Program. I'm going to be showing a little do's and don'ts when it comes to making the Dyson Sphere. So, this is my first system I was in. I actually forgot to finish this sphere. I had gone in, made the pattern for the first section, and called it good, left, and never came back. So I am amending that now. And let's see what we got. So these are all my launchers up here. They're a little idle because I am actually sending a lot of resources to a different planet. So I am going to set up the Dyson Swarm. So I have not set up a Dyson Swarm yet. And I've been looking around, and the best I can tell, you build your first layer of framework, and they actually generate a good amount of power. So 4.39 gigawatts. This whole planet is only sucking less than 1 gigawatt. So just for the record, my current Dyson Sphere on this planet is actually sufficient for anything that I would like to do on this planet. But just to give you a heads up on how I am pretty sure they are actually meant to be, you are actually supposedly supposed to use the framework and the receivers that are up there, that are from the small carrier rocket, to actually make your solar sails permanent. So I haven't seen where that's actually said yet, but I am pretty sure how that's actually supposed to work. So currently I have not launched any Dyson Swarm yet, strictly because I viewed them as a consumable. Oh, these things have to be spaced out pretty well. Okay. By consumable, I mean they actually have a lifespan, and you can do research to increase the lifespan. But to the best of my knowledge, once that lifespan is up, they just become inert and degrade. Sorry, not degrade. The orbit decays, and they more or less just fall into the sun, or I don't know, float off into space or something. They're unusable. Their lifespan's done. So, like I said, I have never gone ahead and done it because in my mind, that is a complete waste of resources. But turns out that with the framework, they will allegedly attach themselves and become a permanent fixture of your Dyson Sphere. Oh, come on. Yeah, that's enough power. Alright, so what do we got here? So, let's edit an orbit. So I have not made a Dyson Sphere orbit yet. So, I'm just going to make this. Come on up here. And let's just stick that pretty darn close. There we go, to where we need to be. I don't know how close you need to be. I rather, err on the side of caution here. So I want you to be in number 2. So 2. Let's get all these guys hooked up and ready. Not sure what it's waiting on. It might be waiting on, these might be line of sight for the sun. Alright, so what are you waiting on? these are not launching. Why are you not launching? Let's take a few ahead of my other pole. I got a station over here without power. Whoops. Alright. Yeah, let's check you out real quick. So, you have 0 solar sails in orbit. Oh, and to completely surround the sun with every possible node, it took 1,442. So why aren't you launching? Come on. Oh no, get back in there. Well, so those are mine now. Am I missing something? Edit orbit. So activated. So it looks like I cannot delete orbit number 1. These guys don't look like they're doing anything. What are they supposed to do? Let's figure this out. So nothing in either orbit. Let's punch you back over to number 1. So it just changed its tracking ever so slightly. Target pitch angle is -2 degrees. Why would that be a negative? Total yaw. Target status, pitch limit. That means it is probably trying to launch it down to that pole. Well, let's steal you. Okay, good. I got enough of those. And let's come on down here. I got some open territory here. I don't even know where my sun's at. I am guessing my sun is directly above me. So let's throw you in there. Let's give you some manual sails. Number 2. Oh, there we go. Alright, so that is apparently not a good place for it. So I need to come down here closer to my equator. So that is my problem. It was the pitch angle. And, oh, I gotta take a right-hand turn. No, I gotta take a left-hand turn. I am on the other side of the planet. So that's pretty cool. Those things shooting off like that. Oh, now they're firing. Okay, are you guys gonna fire? What's going on with you? Pitch limit? Oh. Okay. So let's build some foundation support. I am almost out of foundation. Let's move you guys down here. Send you up to 2. Doesn't matter. You got nothing in you. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So need foundation support. Good enough there. So this is probably going to take a long time with just these 8 cannons. Sorry. Launching platforms. Solar Sail launching platforms up there. But on the other hand, I am going to fly away from this system again for a while. And I will be back later. So these things will actually be running unaided, unassisted, unsupervised. And I'm cool with that. I am cool with that. They can sit here, do their thing at their leisure. I have more than enough power for this planet. Oh, perfect. These are all set up. Alright. So those are launching up there, and you can actually see my swarm. You know what? I'm going to grab that cannon before I leave. Did I leave it, like, right here? Well, I might have just lost a launcher. It's got... Oh, there we go. Whoa. Go back. Alright. Let's go check out, see what those things are doing. So I'm assuming that those were the little specks that were... Yeah, there we go. Now these things are apparently supposed to... I don't know, fix themselves up? Lock themselves in? Be nice if they'd be firing up over here. Definitely... Stop. Definitely close enough. Okay. We're auto-saving again. My file size is huge. I apologize. Whoa. Alright, so I'm getting a swarm right there. And what do we got going on? Let's show the orbit here. Do I... So shells maintain. Shell maintains. There we go. Oh. Don't tell me I have to come in now that I'm launching sails and actually click every single one of these. You know what? This will actually not be nearly as bad as placing all this framework. I have no right to complain. To place all this framework, it actually took me probably good 2 or 3 hours. Now granted, like I said, this is as tight as you can make it, which I've got an experiment going on in another system to where I replicated the same thing that I did here, but for the last 1 or 2 panels I left them open, and I am actually going to head there in a couple of minutes. I think it's like Delta Telescopy or something. You know, it might take me a few minutes actually to find it. I have done a lot of exploring since the last time that I've seen you guys, and I have briefly touched in, I don't know, a couple of dozen different galaxies. All these with names I have gone and visited looking for resources. Mainly hydrogen, yeah, Delta Telescopy, mainly hydrogen and deuterium. Because anybody that has watched my earlier videos, you will remember me trying to figure out what I am supposed to be using hydrogen for. Just filling up space, I couldn't get rid of it fast enough. In order to keep other operations going, like the graphene, I was actually just dumping it. Alright, looks like we got something going on here, hopefully. So what is going on there? Let's check this out. Yeah, so my other system, I have actually got a little bit of experiments, or I'm actually experimenting a little bit with opening these up. So what are you doing? You guys doing anything? Looks like they are just hovering there. I'm hoping they'll like drift down in, like, I don't know, maybe click together. I mean, they don't look like a lot, but I think I'm definitely getting a good quantity up in this area. There, looks like something might be going on down there as well. I don't know, it's so hard to tell. I mean, I am launching these things like crazy. Not like crazy, I mean, I could definitely be launching at a much, much faster pace. But I don't know, this one's coming along. It'll take a bit longer. Let me... You know, I will come back to this. So it looks like we are launching... Let me get my pointer back. Oh, there we go. We are launching down here, and it looks like they're spreading out. definitely coming into formation. Whereas before, they were kind of... Before I set those windows and selected all these openings, they were kind of just sitting there. So, let's give this a minute and see what they do. There we go. Alright, all those little formations, it looks like they were actually... Let's come to a stop here. You know what? I don't need to come to a stop. Alright, so you can't really see them, but they are actually loading into these nodes. So I'm not really sure with these three numbers right here. I know when they're being built, these are usually like 150, 0, and 100. Oh, sorry, there we go. 150, 0, and 150. I don't know exactly what that means. Does that mean I am loading in, 298 or something, 300 something, 240? Oh, that was actually a good view of them going in. There, we can see a couple going in right here. Well, maybe not. Thought those were all filing in nice and single file. So it looks like they're hooking back. Let's see what we can find. How's my power doing? Yeah, power's doing good. So I was really hoping to see like a, I don't know, blue mesh, blue lacework. Something. Yeah, those things are hooking in. I was hoping to see something starting. One thing that I am just now realizing, so when those ships come up, they form these little snowflake framework clusters based on however you designed it. And each Dyson component ship, when you get enough of them, they actually form a large chunk. But these solar sails, they are absolutely tiny. I think it's going to take a lot more than I thought to actually... Oh, there we go. Yeah. That's looking nice. That's what we're wanting to see. Right there. Okay, so they are starting to form a lattice work. So one thing that may be slightly concerning, and one of the reasons why I don't know if I'm going to actually... Well, I guess eventually I'll finish this shell with all the solar sails, is I have 2 other planets in this system. Alniet 3, that was my original starter planet. And then I've got should have a decent amount of resources still coming from Alniet 5. It doesn't really look like a lot, but, early game, this was a pretty decent planet out here for titanium. It's still pumping out good titanium. So we're going to leave it be for a while, but until those are actually depleted, they are being run off of solar. Now, this planet is looking pretty haggard. It was running out of materials. I was starting to have big problems. So I'm going to pop back to Delta Telescopy here, and really wish they would show the Dyson Sphere. I'm going to jump back, and I've got another planet that's got some manufacturing going on there. And we're going to check out that Dyson Sphere. I made that one a lot closer. I decreased its orbit greatly. So it is actually really tight by the sun. Oh, I thought I just saw some more framework coming on down here. Yeah, so it's actually really tight to the sun. And I really wanted to see if it would use less frames, generate more power. Because the interesting thing about the concept of a Dyson Sphere... let me get moving. So an interesting thing about the concept of a Dyson Sphere is a sun only puts off so much power. There we go, delta telescoping. So whether you have a giant sphere that's, you know, I could probably make that sphere big enough to have my that planet inside of it. But at the same time, it's only emitting so much sunlight. So I technically should only catch so much power. So what I did at Delta Telescopy here is I actually built my framework really close, really tight to the sun. Hopefully catch, because the sun's only going to generate so much power, hopefully I use less materials. So if you remember, that one used, what was it, like 11 or 1400 something nodes. When we get back here to Delta Telescopy, after a good, I don't know, 5-10 seconds saving, there we go. I'm going to quick check out how much power I'm putting off. And I'm sure the, you know, sun has differences. Sorry, not how much power I'm putting off, but how many nodes it took me. Because if there is actually no economy to scale, it was actually a lot harder to make a Dyson shell. There we go. This one's mostly complete. See how tight they are together? It was actually a lot harder to make this shell, to physically place every connection, than it was on the other planets. So I think I might be in a decent orbit. You know, can I go through that? Oh, wow. I can just go through it. Here we go. And this is what I was talking about over here. So, not even think about it. I probably wasted a ton of components just letting this thing plug and chug while I was out exploring. But what I wanted to check out is, can I come back here to this layer, come in, and oh yes I can. Alright. Oh, I have no idea what's going on there. So basically what this means, should mean, does it not let me if it's, I don't know, is it because that's not fully enclosed maybe? Or I wonder if that's too big of an area. Okay, so it looks like there might actually be a size limit. Yeah, it looks like there's actually a size limit to how much I can do. So instead of filling in each of these little ones, we can actually come in and make a larger screen. And like I was saying, this should block hopefully catch and block 100% of the sun. So, end game, what that's actually going to mean is that all of my planets out here in the system, like Telescopy 2, Telescopy 1, Telescopy 3, these are actually all pretty much being run off of solar panels. Which, early game, oh, I'm really far out there. Early game is pretty awesome. But as I get later and later in the game, it is going to become more of a problem to actually power these. Because I'm going to have no sunshine. Oh, come on, land. There we go. Yeah. So, let's get these guys going. What are we doing here? So, set a couple of these up. You know, let's edit orbit. I might be able to do it. You know, let's do an experiment. How close do you actually need to be? Can I start launching a ton of them up there to orbit 1, and is it just gonna plug chug do its thing? I don't know. I wonder if they will connect. You know, I actually don't need that. There we go. Yeah, I really wonder if they're going to automatically connect and nest now that I have a couple of those panels dedicated. And you know what? I should have done it in my other system. And I should do it here before I forget. I either need to... Did I not set you guys up? There we go. I either need to spend a little bit of time and finish selecting all of these, or you didn't select either. Did you guys not select? Oh, pitch limit. Okay, so these guys are out of range. Or I actually need to put a cap on how many of these I'm actually going to use. Which I don't think will actually make a difference. Because these guys aren't firing them that fast. Alright, so these guys are pretty much all launched out. So do I want to block off solar everything from my other two planets? Oh, here we go. This answers the question. So they are breaking orbit, and they're going to come and start to fill in on this Dyson Sphere. Alright. Let's see. Should we do it? Yeah, I got time. Alright, so real quick, another pet peeve of mine that I've come across and discovered is the closer the rotation, the closer you are to the core of the sun, the faster the rotation of your sphere actually is. So this actually becomes quite the pain, you know, when you're trying to actually connect all these, because everything keeps twisting on you. That coupled with, and maybe it's a colorblind thing, but this coupled with not really being able to see this grid work, oh man, it makes for a stressful time. Then again, now that I'm not connecting every single node, it's actually not going too bad. I don't know, maybe I should have been doing this to begin with. We'll see. That's how we learn.
They have formed a Dyson swarm around the star. You should be able to clearly see it right now. To receive such energy, you have built a ray receiver to absorb the transmission, where Dyson swarm can generate power simultaneously. Every solar sail launched for a certain life cycle. If you want to maintain the Dyson swarm, you have to continue on injecting the solar sails.
See, they say absolutely nothing about the framework supporting it. So, because of that, and the lack of information that was given in the game, and granted, I will admit, I probably skipped over and did not read something that I was supposed to. So chances are very good this is actually 100% my fault that I spent / wasted enough time putting together this framework that I probably could have built Dyson Spheres around at least 2 or 3 other stars just with this framework. Now, in my defense, that being said, that looks pretty cool. I am not gonna lie, that looks pretty cool. If I was some little, I don't know, humanoid, big brain, advanced thinking creature on some planet, and some giant mech came, started stomping around, and built this thing around my sun, I would look at it, well, probably not through a telescope. I mean, that'd probably burn out my retinas. But I would look at it, metaphorically speaking, and think, oh man, that is a serious hardware. That is somebody that means business. We're not making it out of this. And then we'd probably try to pull some Armageddon type thing, or, I don't know, Mission Possible thing. Probably involve, I don't know, let's just say a floppy disk, because, you know, so old, aliens probably wouldn't remember floppy disks. Just like most people watching this probably don't remember what a floppy disk is. For the younger generation, a floppy disk is the 3D version of the save symbol. And if you're old enough, you'll remember from pop culture and cartoons when floppy disk actually had enough storage capacity that it seemed like for a while there was always some virus or computer code written that the bad guy had on a floppy disk. The heroes had to go, keep it from being inserted into the computer, otherwise the world was going to end. But, the 90s. Good days. So, I am going to finish this up, and then I am actually going to move to a different area. So, this system, if you look, it's only got like 100,000 copper, which is pretty good, 90,000 iron ore. Now, the reason I came to it was actually for its copper and iron ore, and it has a decent amount of titanium. I have found three other systems out here. One of them is Atlas. You can't really see it, but it is close to 250,000 tons of iron ore, copper, and titanium and silicon and stone. Let me check my list. We have Atlas. We have Alshane right here. And then we've got one other. Rasselhag. This guy right here. Between the three of them, and they are right next to each other, there is over 1 billion tons of almost every resource. So I'm going to go out there and I am actually going to make that basically a manufacturing planet that will only be producing, or a main focus on, Dyson Sphere components. So up until now, I've built 2 full-fledged manufacturing planets that you've seen in this episode alone. They were pretty generic. I mean, they've got a little bit of everything. I'm making, mining bots, Tesla towers. I'm making assemblers, conveyor belts, graphene, steel plates, everything on them. These next 3 systems that I'm going to mine are basically just going to be strip mined for base components, and then everything that I can will be converted into Dyson Sphere. So Dyson Sphere components. Especially now that I know that I don't need as many, I am going to be as gung-ho as I can. I want to eventually carve my way through the systems. One end, I have a neutron star, which just looks absolutely awesome. I want to come check this thing out. But it is 20 light years away. It's a good distance. On the other end of the system, there we go, I have a black hole. And that is 37 light years. That is quite a ways away. Just for example, coming from Delta Telescopy, where I am right now, I can make it about this far, so 15 light years is about the limit of my jump. I cannot make it, I can make it a little bit past 15, probably about 17. I cannot make it to Atlas without having to stop and let my battery tanks recharge. So Atlas is actually, these planets over here are actually going to be one of the final steps. I mean, I might come here and just build a little bit, just to make a charging station, and then we're going to check out that black hole. Then I want to, I'll save the black hole for last. I'm going to come, I've been to Mizar, been to Thuban, been to Singer. I'm going to come out here, probably build another outpost, something a little closer, and we're going to go check out that neutron star. But in the meantime, I want to kill off a few more galaxies, and then I will see you when I am got something else to show you. So thank you guys for coming out. Till then, I will see you guys next time. Later.